Hello and welcome to day 2 of Build Your Belonging, and today's focus is really about practicing, and we're going to do a little practice together that really I want you to kind of take away and make it your own and use it as often as you need. And if you haven't seen day 1, if you haven't seen the day 1 video yet, please do go and check it out. You can definitely do this practice first and then go and listen to the day 1 video. That's absolutely fine. But they coincide with each other in the sense that yesterday's session was essentially the lesson or the learning that supports this practice session that we're doing today. And the intention of the practices, so we're alternating between a session of learning and knowledge and then a practice session the day after, is that you're able to take away a practical tool that you can then put in your bag of tricks and use whenever you want. And I really encourage you to do that. And this whole series is all about practicing. This is not a one and done situation. Great, I've done 10 minutes of of mindfulness and something like that. This is all about kind of building. It's a muscle to build, essentially. We're not looking at, like I said yesterday, we're not fixing anything, we're not eradicating anything. We are looking to expand our capacity and our resilience for our feelings and our emotions, and really creating acceptance and giving ourselves permission to have all of these feelings and emotions that we all have as human beings. And so yesterday I spoke about adopting this mindset of possibility and curiosity, and we spoke about how when that judgment comes in of like, who are you to be doing this, who are you to be thinking and feeling these things, is to really ask that judgment just to soften and just to step back. We're not looking to get rid of judgment because we can't. That inner critic is present in all of us. But what doesn't have to happen is that the inner critic gets to hijack and take over that inner voice. So that's what we're going to be tapping into today. And I am going to guide you through a short practice. And my invitation to you is to practice this as often as you can. And actually, what is lovely is that once you've kind of got to grips with the mechanics of what we're doing, is you can start to mold these practices into a shape that works for you. So this practice today will probably be 6 or 7 minutes. Once you've got to grips with it, you can start to you can absolutely take 6 or 7 minutes to do it every time, but your body and mind starts to learn what it feels like to embark on a practice like this, and you can condense it down, so then you can use it in more of your day-to-day situations, because that's what we want. We want to be able to tune into certain ways of thinking and feeling when the stress starts to arise and it starts to challenge us. So when you're repeating practices like we're gonna go through today, you're teaching your body and your mind over time that it is safe. And that's what happens to us when we go into stress. Something triggers us. We encounter a stressful situation and our bodies go into a stress response, such as fight, flight, freeze or fawn. And by engaging in practices like I'm going to teach you today, the body learns that it's safe and that it can calm, the system can calm down. So again, we're not looking to get rid of stress, because let's be honest, that's not possible either. We're never going to be able to get rid of stress, but what we can do is learn to manage and learn to adjust our coping mechanisms to a much more sustainable method. So the key is, the key kind of takeaway I want you to really hang on to today, other than the practice that I'm going to share with you, is that it's little and often and over time. So that's why this is a 21-day series, because we're not going to do a practice one day and suddenly feel better immediately the next. You will get some immediate kind of sense of relaxation when we do the practices, but the idea is that we build them into our daily life over time. We're busy people. When we think about taking care of ourselves in this way, often the resistance comes in the form of, I don't have time for that. So I want to show you really easy ways to fit this into your day, so you can make it real for you. So little and often, okay? All right, so we're going to go into the practice now, and what I'd like to invite you to do is to find yourself a comfortable seat, and you can be seated or you can be lying down, whatever you're able to do. And obviously when you're repeating this later on, if you want to lie down, that's absolutely fine, feel free. And I want to invite you, if you feel safe to do so, to close your eyes. And the first part of the practice is just to simply notice your breathing. So noticing the breath coming in and noticing the breath going out again. And there's no need to change your breath. You don't have to make it deeper. You don't have to slow it down. If that feels good to you, then that's fine. But there's no need to change anything. We are just bringing ourselves into the present moment. Learning to be still. Learning to notice a simple thing like the breath. And maybe you notice the sound that your breath makes as it travels in and out. Maybe you notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Perhaps you notice the cool air as it travels into your nose and the warm air that leaves your nose or your mouth. And I want you to gently bring your awareness to the muscles in your face and just see if you can soften them a little. Just see if you can release and relax your jaw and allow the muscles in your face to gently soften. And now moving your awareness into your neck and your shoulders. And again, see if you can invite and encourage that part of you to relax and let go and soften into a greater sense of relaxation. And it's okay if your mind is wandering. It's absolutely fine. We are not looking to get rid of any thoughts here. We are just being present. And if there are thoughts there, that's okay. Just notice that your mind has wandered and gently bring it back to the sound of my voice and your breathing. And as you draw your breath in, imagine that you are creating space into your neck and your shoulders. We hold tension often and we're not aware of it in that part of our bodies. So imagine that you're creating space on that in-breath, scooping up any tension and any stress. And as you breathe out, imagine that you gently release that. Allow your arms and your hands to let go. Have your palms either facing up or down, but just allow them to be relaxed, no gripping, no holding on. And let your arms be heavy. And now just deepen your breath slightly so you're breathing deep into your lungs, kind of really feel that expansion as you breathe in. Just hold it there for a second at the top. And then let go. And that feels really lovely and indulgent. So we're just going to do that once more. So breathing in deep. And just holding it at the top and then let go. Breathing down into your core now. So if it helps, really blow your belly out as you breathe in. Just hold it for a second and then let go. You might start to feel a kind of a wooziness almost with this deeper breathing, and that's okay. Just allow it to be there. Just repeat that again. So breathing deep into the belly and hold it and then let go. Relaxing the muscles in your back, softening into your legs, and all the way down to your ankles and your feet. And what I invite you to do now is to, as you sit in stillness and in presence, is to invite a mindset of possibility. If you were to think about what possibility might be for you, see how that feels in your body. There's no particular focus with possibility. It's just, what would possibility feel like for me? And it might help to think of a sense of open-mindedness, open-heartedness. If I were to open my heart, what might that feel like for me? And it might help you to imagine that you are actually opening your heart. Create that visual in your mind's eye of your heart opening. If I were to open my mind, what might that look and feel like for me? And again, if it helps you, imagine in your mind's eye that your mind, or the crown of your head, is opening. So we're really bringing in a sense of possibility. What might possibility feel like for me? And I like to imagine that when I think about opening up to possibility, I kind of really lift my head and I look more broadly, maybe looking at the horizon and thinking about what that might feel like. Just noticing what's going on for you as you consider this first mindset. Maybe you feel a sense of adrenaline. Maybe there's some excitement, and just notice that. We don't need to change anything or do anything any differently. It's just noticing what's going on for us as we think about possibility. And then I want to invite you to consider what curiosity would feel like. So if you were to invite a mindset of curiosity in, what would that look and feel like for you? So it really ties in with this sense of open-mindedness and open-heartedness and more of that's interesting. What's interesting for me here? So it's not judgment. And if judgment is coming in, just ask judgment to step back. I'm curious. Possibility and curiosity. And I want you to think and consider, if possibility and curiosity lived in your body somewhere. There's no right or wrong. You can't get this wrong. If possibility and curiosity lived inside of you somewhere, where would it be? It can be in your head, it can be in your heart, it can be in your gut. They don't have to be in the same place, but it's wherever feels intuitively right for you. Just notice where that might be and focus on that place for a moment. And notice what it feels like. And see if you can expand that feeling. Can you make it a bit stronger? When you think about what might be possible for me, can you allow that to grow and expand? Can you dial up that feeling? And I want you to give the feelings of possibility and curiosity a number. There's no right or wrong. You can start with a number between 0 and 10. And whatever that number is, I want you to see if you can crank it up by 2. Imagine you've got a volume dial and you're just turning up the volume. Can you crank it up by 2? See how that feels. Can you do that another 2? And then allow that feeling, this possibility and curiosity, to circulate around your whole body. And notice how that feels. And there is no right or wrong, but you might feel a buzz. You might feel a sense of excitement, or you might feel a real sense of calm and peace and groundedness. Whatever is coming up for you is absolutely right for you. And if judgment is trying to creep in, ask it to soften and step back and focus on possibility and curiosity. Now, just to round off, we're going to really kind of lock that feeling into our body. So I invite you to we're going to take 2 really lovely deep breaths in. So the deepest breath you've taken all day, so drawing in through the nose. And then letting go. Just noticing how good that feels, giving yourself these 15 minutes. And breathing in again. Just locking that feeling in and letting go. Amazing. Now, I'd really love to know how you feel after doing that short practice with me, and feel free to pop something in the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can drop me a DM. But the more you can tune into, this is how I felt before and this is how I feel now, the more tangible the change becomes for you, and you start to notice, oh yeah, that's really having an impact on my day and how I feel. So I'm really keen to hear your feedback on this, and keep practicing, and you can condense it down. You can make that a shorter practice to fit in with your day. That's what matters. It's making it manageable for you. So I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we are going to be looking at what happens when we become our thoughts, when we really embody the difficult feelings that we're going through, and actually how changing that can really make a huge difference to how we feel. So looking forward to seeing you then, and please do let me know how you found this today, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Lots of love.